They used to tell me I was building a dream, and so I followed the mob. When there was earth to plow or guns to bear, I was always there, right on the job. They used to tell me I was building a dream.
Mrs. Murray, Nana. Nana, could you tell us when you were born?
I was born February the 13th, 1906.
Thank you. That makes you 84, right?
1906.
Well, no, that makes you 84 years old.
84 years old. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, could you tell us how old you were during the Depression?
I was about 25 years old.
Where did you live during the Depression?
Upland, Pennsylvania.
Did you live with anybody?
Yes, I wasn't at first because, but when there wasn't any work, your grandfather didn't have any work. He was a bricklayer, and there was no building going on whatsoever. So we all, my mother and father had a big home, 3-story home out in Upland. And my father was working. He was the superintendent down in Penn Steel, and he had his job, so a steady job. So we went home and we lived there with my mother and father.
Was there anybody else besides your mother and
Yeah, my mother and father, and then I had 2 younger sisters lived there. They were still young. The 3 boys were married, and they were all out on their own. And they were working, but they was only making $14 a week. That's all the men were making then. And my father, he made real big money. He was a salary man, but they cut him down. His wages were cut down because the company wasn't making much money, and he had to, and that worried my mother. But there wasn't enough money coming in. Easter time, we ripped up old coats and everything and washed the wool and pressed it and made little coat suits for the girls for Christmas, for Easter, We made out all right. And we learned how to cook, make good nourishing food for almost nothing.
What actually happened at the start of the Depression?
What else do I remember about it? Well, I remember beefsteak was 29 cents a pound. The roll of butter was about 45 cents a pound. And you get a 5-cent loaf of bread at the American store, the Yakima. Their Victor bread was 5 cents a loaf. And that's how cheap bread was. It's almost $2 worth now.
What actually happened at the start of the Depression?
Well, it came on gradually. What causes that? I don't know. I don't remember the war or what. What caused that? All of a sudden there wasn't any, there just wasn't any work or nothing was going on. And everybody was laid off. There wasn't just no work. Just bad times hit. Stock market went down, and members committed suicide. They lost all their money, jumping out the windows and everything. The country just seemed to go right down.
Did anybody else besides your father work in the house? For fun.
What we do for fun? We used to sit around the dining room table at night, particularly in the winter time. There wasn't any television, and we did have radio. But we'd sit around, we'd play games with Cheesa. We used to have a game called Cheesa. And my grandmother, she was still living, and she's one who taught me how to crochet. We'd sit around the dining room table. The woman would sew and mend their clothes, and the men, they would read the papers and listen to the radio. That's what we did for pleasure.
Did anybody have a car?
My father had a car. He was lucky enough to have a car.
How did people get around?
How did they get around? Oh, we had a trolley car. The trolley car used to run out of Upland. I think the fare was $1 nickel. With a nickel, and that'd take over to Chester. We used to go over Chester maybe once a week over on Friday night, and over to Spears, and if we had any money to buy anything, a little bit of material or something, we'd go over there.
Where did as you said, you bought your food at Acme, right?
Yeah, bought my food at Acme.
Was that a big store or a little store?
No, it was a little corner store. They had little stores then, but not like these big supermarkets.
Did you have any money in the bank or the
No.
stock market?
Nobody had any money then. Wasn't no money. If you got I had my first baby then, a Granville. And I had to try to save up 4 dimes to get 4 dimes to make myself a house coat, 40 cents. We went out east on Fritworth and got material for 10 cents a yard. And like a bathrobe to get out of bed with if you had your baby. And that's how I, 40 cents it took. And I had a hard time saving up 4 dimes.
What kind of food did you eat?
What kind of food did we eat? We had, we used to make depression soup, peas and potatoes, and milk and carrot and onions. And we had oatmeal, had plenty of oatmeal for our breakfast. And beefsteak, we had that once a week. That was only 29 cents a pound, beefsteak. We'd have that once a week. And fish was real cheap. We had fish. Fishman used to come around in a truck every Friday. Something like 15 cents a pound. We got about 4 pounds of fish. And we ate all right. People, they learned how to cook cheap, you know, it didn't cost much.
With peace and glory.